Marco, where the heck are you? I'm looking all over for you, man. I have no idea where you are. You're
Marco.
not here.
Polo.
Polo.
I can't find Marco anywhere, Sean.
That's right.
I'll take his place.
He's escaped.
Of everyone, I'm Frankie.
He's had way too much. Way too much. So I'm thankful, Frankie, that you're here to help me kind of give a recap of what's going on this week, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's see what we can do about that.
I know. It's your first show.
Yeah.
Frankie Thomas, by the way.
Nice to meet you, everyone. Frankie.
Host of the Hack Your Potential podcast.
Yeah, we've just put out a new episode today with Infosec Patrick Gorman. You should go check that out. Great guy, really cuts to the point with his advice. So if you want some real actionable advice, go and listen to my podcast with Pat today.
Yep, good stuff. And you have a newsletter went out today as well on LinkedIn.
Yeah, the podcast's in the newsletter, so that'll tell you all about Pat and where you can find him as well, and also where you can find these guys.
We're here. Well, I'm here anyway. Marco's off doing who knows what.
Yeah, should we talk about
He didn't eat dinner, so he's probably trying to find some food.
Yeah, I'm sure
I don't blame him. I'm hungry myself. I've had many coffees today. No food, many coffees.
All week, coffee. It's been great.
That's right. full of energy. So Frankie, you're like drinking from the fire hose this week. You're just getting into the industry. You're talking about hacking and cybersecurity, and here you are.
Yeah,
your first event.
So I'll tell you how I feel about the whole thing. So I come from a small island, and coming to big cities like this just alone for a trip terrifies me. So coming here to do journalism in front of cameras and talking to strangers on microphones, the whole thing absolutely terrified me. And I walked through that door really scared, really nervous, and I'm leaving here today to go to the airport, and I have a big smile on my face, and I'm so happy that I come here and did this. I just want to say to anybody listening that if you're ever fearful about anything, I say this a lot, just jump straight in and do it, and you always come out the other side swimming and feeling happier about yourself.
Yep. And
I've had such a great time as well.
I love it. I mean, your energy and your authenticity, man. I mean, it's real and it shines through in everything you do. And I know you've had a lot of conversations this week and met a lot of people, and tell us a little bit about what you've been talking about.
Yeah, so I've been running left, right, up, down. It's like a labyrinth inside there, guys. When I post my video, you'll sort of see the layout of the place. But I've been speaking to a lot of vendors mostly, so guys who are working with AI technology to help with vulnerabilities. There's a penetration testing company that's just started up called Cytix. They do it like a software model, but they're trying to change the whole consultancy part of penetration testing. You can actually check them guys out. We're doing a promotional piece with them, and we're also doing other pieces with them where they're talking about it. It's really evolutionary for pen testing. And I also got to speak to one guy who I was really impressed with called John Fielding. He works for Apricorn, and they create these USB sticks. And don't get me wrong, at first I thought a conversation about USB sticks can sound kind of boring, right? But turns out they're actually a really impressive product. And John Fielding himself, we spoke for probably about an hour after the interview, just talking about life and family and stuff, and
right.
Give me some really good advice about moving forward. So yeah, I've met lots of great people, including yourself. I've had some great conversations with Sean and Marco. Polo.
He's nowhere to be found.
But no, I've had some great conversations with you and Marco as well. Some tricks of the trade that needed to be learned. And if you ever get the chance to see these guys focus on their work, it's really inspiring. These guys give Hacking Your Potential a great name. These guys know how to do it the old school.
You know, people hopefully enjoy what the stories we capture and share with everybody, and it takes a bit of work, as you know yourself, to not just record. That's finding the guest, and then recording is like the first step. You have to produce it, make sure it sounds good, and get it out to people, and comment on it, and get the energy going around the story, right?
No, yeah.
And so it takes a lot, but we enjoy it. We put out 5 or 6 things yesterday, so we just did our recap from day 2 yesterday, and this is our recap from day 3. And then Marco's slacking, so you and I get to do this. For me, it was a bit no recordings today, which is nice. So we just got to cruise around the show floor. I think for me, there's you talk about USB stick. There he is, lazy.
Hey, Marco.
He's photo bombing the video. I think it's interesting for me because 30 years in doing this stuff, building products and security products and bringing them into market and talking about them, and as a journalist now, the challenges have changed, but a lot of the technologies remain the same. So USBs, still a technology heavily in use, still part of the game in terms of IT, still part of the game in terms of needing to secure the information that's on them, and perhaps even using them to provide security as well. I know USB keys, like Yubico and others, for MFA and things like that. But I guess my point is, as much as it changes, and we're constantly talking about the new evolutions and advancements in technology and in cybersecurity, there's still a lot of stuff, a lot of legacy stuff that exists that we need to maintain the basics on. We need to ensure we're not missing the low-hanging fruit when we're talking about cybersecurity, looking at the shiny new things as ways to help solve these problems. But I know I'm rambling a bit here, but the theme of the event is rethink, and looking at cybersecurity differently and the power of cybersecurity. And I think now is an opportunity, in my opinion, to look at some of those technologies. And yes, I know some legacy stuff will remain, but now we have a chance to say, can we swap some of the legacy stuff with new capabilities that reduces workload on teams, reduces burnouts, reduces exposure, shrinks the attack surface. A lot of the things that I heard this week as ideas and topics and ways to think about the problem, I think with that we should also figure out, can we eliminate some of the old stuff if it's possible. So I don't know, Frankie, what's your plan for your? I know you've done a lot of conversation, a lot of recordings. What are you planning to put out?
No, I've done a lot of stuff. I actually want to go back to what you were saying though, about that. I think they really have done a great job here with the whole rethink. Every single vendor or company I've spoken to, they're all coming with sort of, the stuff that already exists, like they're revolutionizing penetration testing, or they're revolutionizing the USBs, or they're revolutionizing browser security. But every single company I've spoke to has done a completely different, they're doing it completely different than anyone else on the market. So I think, if you come to a place like this, you're really going to find out what the next cutting edge for these legacy things are. Well, these legacy products are.
Right.
And it's that's been probably one of the best parts for me. Not one vendor has failed to rethink.
Yep. I love that you're pointing that out.
But you wanted me to talk about.
Yeah, please do that too.
Yeah, so I come here just to talk to some vendors, just to get my feet wet. As you all know, I haven't been doing this for very long, so it was mainly a practice thing for me. But then I was lying in bed one night, I think it was the second night, and I thought I should make a video, and I thought about how I wanted to film it. I imagined the whole thing for hours and lost sleep. And then I come in the next day, as nervous as I was to pull out that camera in front of a bunch of strangers and start talking. I went ahead and I did it, and I think it's gone exactly to plan as my imagination. So I've walked around, so when the video goes out, guys, you'll see, I'll show you all around the arenas, so we'll talk to vendors, talk about some of these products I've just mentioned to you, speaking to some of the guys that I've got on the podcast as well for the audio version of it.
Cool.
And we're just going around and looking at all the fun things, because there's loads of games. There's an arcade that you'll get to take a look at, and that was really fun. I played a little game of Pac-Man, which I haven't played for ages. I forgot how annoying that wah was. So I was happy to end
I saw
that
the arcade.
quickly.
It was a cool arcade.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I didn't get a chance to play in there yet, but I don't know, maybe I'll go back in and catch a few. I like Miss Pac-Man over there.
Yeah, I didn't see her in there.
All right.
Maybe it's not her sort of conference.
Or Galaga, maybe I'll uncover a Galaga in there. No,
there was Mortal Kombat,
okay.
Pac-Man, there was an old racing car game with the little tiny cars on.
There
was a good few.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
You'll see them all on the video.
Now those legacy things, keep them around. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, there's arcade machines dotted all around the place, so you might actually find the ones you're looking for.
Yeah. You have to peer past all of the Formula One cars. I think every other booth has a Formula One car. I wanted to make 2 points. It's great to be here in Europe. Obviously, Marco and I are based in the US, but we like to have a global view for what we do, looking at different cultures and different ways society and businesses supporting society look at cybersecurity and privacy and whatnot. And going to an event in the US, you have your traditional multinational cyber companies and then a lot of regional, including some startups that are local to the U.S. as well. It's great to see a bunch of new brands here and new ways of thinking about things from the UK and European perspective. So yeah, and I think some of the conversations I had this week touch on that a little bit, and we're going to have some folks on for some future shows where we're looking at UK government and UK aerospace and whatnot. So a lot of fun stuff coming up from that. I want to quick shout out to Alicia Broadset and the whole PR team here at Infosecurity Europe. They've been amazing to help us with organizing these conversations and giving us space to record and welcoming us with open arms, including Frankie for his first time out, and great partnership with them. Love our media partnership with Infosecurity Europe. Looking forward to next year's event. And with that, Frankie.
No, you're absolutely right. I want to say thank you to Origins as well. Without them, I wouldn't have got to speak to half of the people I did. They were very persistent in finding people for us to talk to, for me personally anyways. They even held the camera for me. I didn't have a tripod, I just had my phone, and they were more than helpful to stand there and hold the camera for me while I talked to these people. So yeah, the ladies at Origins, I hope they're here next year. They were great.
Yep, always good, always good. So thanks everybody. Hope you enjoy our coverage and our conversations. Enjoy meeting Frankie, and tune into his show, of course. Stay tuned for all the stuff here. Just a quick shout, we have Black Hat and DEF CON coming up. We're going to be talking to keynotes. We have our first chat with Steve Wiley coming up very soon, and of course keynotes and panelists and other speakers from Black Hat and DEF CON and all the villages that we want to talk to from there as well. So hopefully you'll stay tuned for that, and with that, peace out everybody. Thanks, Frankie.
Peace. Thank you, Sean. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, brother.
No, I have a plane to catch.
That's right. Hurry up.